Hello, friends. Oh my gosh, Kaylee. Kaylee's sitting on my chair. Hi, babes. Welcome to the Witchy Weather Report. Let me see if I can make that light a little less glary for us. Hello. I'm live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube and Twitch. Gosh, I think. No, I'm on only YouTube. Okay, let me work on this. Edit. Facebook, Twitch. Save changes. Oh my gosh. Hi, good meowing. I'm attempting to go live on Facebook, which is taking a minute because of course it is. Hey Ondine, it's so good to see you. I'm gonna be reading for you with the pasta tarot today. You can't see it, but Kaylee's like, there she is. She's like clowning around over here. Okay, here we go. Save changes. There, now I'm live, I think, on Facebook. Hi. Hi, friends. It's me, Rory, with Sassafras Tarot. This is my cat, Kaylee, or at least it's her tail. I'm going to go onto Facebook and make sure I'm visible. Oh, Kaylee. You dig the blue light. Thank you very much. I have one of these guys that like can change the color of my lights. It's a nice vibe. It's nice to be able to do it. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I'm really live. I'm really live. Okay. Kaylee, my love, I have to go type on the Facebook. Okay. Hi, everyone, live. Oh, can't do it. Okay. I'm just gonna share this so everyone can see it. Live with the Witchy Weather Report. Okay, we're sharing. And we're sharing again. Hi, Kaylee, you're helping. We're in the midst of a blue moon in Sagittarius. How are we feeling? I know the beginning of this stream is not that interesting as I share it around. And I know I didn't really share too much about it until yesterday. I apologize. It's a busy. It's a busy season. It's a busy time. Robots doing their best. But I'm excited to read for you. My friend and second reader, Melissa Scambati, got me the pasta tarot. Oh, the possibilities. And so I'm excited about that. And I'm going to open up these comments so I can see what everyone has to say. Hey, Judith. Hey, Mary Jane. How are you? Good meowing, Mary meowing. So I'm reading to you today from the Pasta Tarot, which I absolutely love. It is a 78 card deck for delicious divination. I'm trying to see who I can credit for it. And I don't see an author name. So it's just the Pasta Tarot. The author is just Pasta. If you would like a card, the secret code is to drop a cat in the chat. And I would love to pull a card for you. So you can either put a cat emoji in the chat or you can write the word meow in the chat if you would like a card for yourself. We have a blue. Hi, come on up, Kaylee. Kaylee is blessing us with her presence. We have a blue full moon in Sagittarius. A blue moon means it's the second full moon in a month. If you, like me, have not gotten your act together to do moon water, which I haven't, which is amazing because I'm not usually like that. In my opinion, tonight's still good. The moon is still full anytime around the 3 days of the lunation. the moon phase is a good time. And tonight is like the full moon was full at 4:45 a.m. today. So it will still be quite full tonight if you would like to do some full moon water. And I'm recommending whispering your wishes to the full moon, like imagining them flowing into your water and letting the moon do its thing and then drinking it. And that's what I'm doing with this blue moon water. And because it is a blue moon, might I suggest adding the word "and" to your wishes and dreaming just a smidgen bigger than you would usually dream? Because once in a blue moon, I think you should get to, if your wish is, oh, I don't know, I wish I could find a job. Maybe we add an "and." I wish I could find a job and it pays, 10% more than I was expecting. Whatever. Make your wishes just a smidgen bigger. Let it be so. Here's Kaylee. She's helping. Hey, Melissa, how are you? If you're tuned in and watching this, might I request, oh my God, look guys, Kaylee's getting all the pets. Kaylee's the real star of all my streams and we know it and we accept it. If you're tuned in on this, might I request that you throw a share my way? Just share this video so others can also enjoy the Witchy Weather Report, because I know Facebook and Meta don't like push out the lives the way they used to. I'm live today on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. I forewent TikTok for no special reason other than it was just too many things. And I don't have as many regular TikTok viewers. So here is the spot. I'm going to pull a card for all of us for this blue moon. I see Mary Jane already putting a question in the chat. If you're requesting a card, please feel absolutely free to Please feel absolutely free to put a question in the chat along with your request, or if you just want a general card, that's fine too. Here is a card for all of us for the blue moon. Friends, it is the High Priestess, who incidentally is pictured as being blue on this card. Hey, Aria, nice to meet you. Meow, meow. Nice to meet you. Nice to see you. Pardon me. My brain is Swiss cheese. I did 8.5 readings of tarot, or 8.5 tarot readings yesterday at 2 different tarot parties that I was reading at. 8.5 hours is a lot of time to read tarot cards. And that's just the readings. It's not the time I spent getting to or there or setting up. Just purely reading, 8.5 hours. And I really love doing that. I love getting to feel the vibes. I love getting to find patterns. But wow, it was many things. And my words are a little all over the place today. So I'm doing my best. We're reading with the Pasta Tarot, and our card for the month for everyone for this upcoming month of June is the High Priestess. And I just, look, she's in a pasta pot. It's adorable. So I just wanted to say, look, the High Priestess urges us to get in touch with our subconscious, to get in touch with our inner landscape, to get in touch with our inner world. We're trying to feel it out more than think it out at this time. That doesn't mean we shouldn't use our intellect. Indeed, we should, to try to decode the things our subconscious is telling us, right? If we have a dream that we don't understand, anyone else been having big, wild dreams lately? Because I sure have. If we have a dream that we don't understand, thinking about not just what happened in the dream, but our feelings about it can give us a lot of insight to what's going on in our internal landscape. Connecting with your intuition, connecting with your subconscious, connecting with your emotions. And spoiler alert, if you've ever been taught intuition or tarot reading by me, you know that we have to do all 3 in order to be able to give a good intuitive reading. We have to be willing to connect with our feelings and do the emotional work if we're going to give a good intuitive reading, because our intuition and our emotions come in through the same channel. So the High Priestess urges you to stillness. It urges you to check in more deeply with yourself. It urges you to take more time this month making decisions and allowing yourself to feel your way through those decisions instead of giving an immediate yes or no, or here's what I want to do, to give yourself a night to sleep on it and give yourself time and stillness to reflect on what your emotional landscape has to say about that decision before you zoom in with a yes or a no. So be the High Priestess you wish to see in the world. Pay attention to the unseen. Pay attention to the internal landscape. That is our card for the month. Judah says, Egad's been having crazy dreams since Neptune went into Aries. Yeah. Samesies. So hydration checkpoint for me, but answer me these questions 3. Question 1, where are you tuned in from? I'm broadcasting live from my dragon lair here on Long Island in New York. Kaylee is tuned in from my lap. She's a precious angel baby. You may or may not be able to see her, but she will definitely pop up and be obnoxious later. Right now, I think she's off screen. So it just looks like I'm being weird, but I'm actually petting her like a delightful supervillain in a movie. Question 2. What you sipping on today? I am sipping on a bottle of Dasani water. Cheers, y'all. And question 3, how are you feeling? I want the real answer, not the polite answer. For real, how are you feeling? I want to know. I am feeling, oh boy, babies, I am feeling emotionally drained. Not bad. There's just been a lot. In the last couple days. And some of it has been very overwhelming in a very good way. And some of it has been very overwhelming in a tough way. And I'm in the soup, y'all. Or I think I'm coming out of the soup. I've been in the soup and now I'm like recovering from my soup journey. That's how I'm feeling. I get real with you because I want you to get real with me. We are vulnerable with each other in my broadcast. We connect honestly with each other on my broadcast. We hold space. This is a safe space and a brave space. We do both. So yeah. Let me know how you're feeling. Ondine says Swiss cheese or Parmesan. Oh my God, who would put Swiss cheese on pasta? Who would do that? Oh wait, because you were asking, I said my brain is Swiss cheese. And I'm reading with the pasta tarot and you're like Swiss cheese or Parmesan. That's too funny. And for those who are not on Instagram, Ondine spelled it like Parmesan, like with an accent. Yeah, my brain is Parmesan right now. That's amazing. Yeah, correct. I see people tuned in and saying stuff. Tuned in from my kitchen. Pardon me as I pull cat hair out of my mouth. Tuned in from my kitchen, hoping I remember how to make that garlic roux sauce you made. Ooh, I'll tell you right now. Because listen, I'm reading with the pasta tarot. I'm going to teach you how to make a roux, which is more of a French thing, but you know, we could do it too. I'm Italian. I know I don't look it, but I am. I grew up cooking Italian, which is actually the true line of Italian heritage. The true line of Italian heritage is just a linguine. Anyway, I put that garlic in some butter, Melissa, in a pan. And then once it was kind of like, you know, getting nice and simmering, I dusted it with like a spoon of flour and like did like one of those little floppy spatulas to like mix it real well. Some people like to whisk it. I'm more of a spatula bitch. And, you know, just like did the thing to allow it to become a thick sauce, not clumpy. And then slowly added half and half. Half and half was just what I had on hand. So that was the dairy that I added until it became a garlic cream sauce. That was my garlic roux situation that I made. I think there's a word for a white sauce like that in French, and I can't remember what it is. It might even just be the French word for white. I'm not sure. Anyway, yeah. Kaylee, we're not walking on the piano. Thank you. Let me start pulling cards for everyone. Melissa says, amazing. I was secretly hoping you'd just tell me. Yeah, we don't gatekeep recipes. We don't do that in Italian cooking, at least not my Italian family doesn't gatekeep recipes. Also, a card just flew out, so let me see. Let me see what happened, guys. What does the universe want us to also consider? Also, we don't do recipes. We just kind of do the thing. You guys, it's the 5 of Lunga, which is like the 5 of Swords. And we see on this card, someone is like stealing someone else's pasta while their back is turned. This is a card of like competition, not the healthy kind, the kind of toxic kind, and betrayal. And I will tell you, speaking of themes, I was saying that I recognize themes often in when I'm doing like a bunch of readings at parties and stuff like that. One of the themes that I saw was the Five of Swords came up a lot. There are a lot of people out there engaging in not healthy competition with each other right now. There's a lot of the toxic kind of either competition, dramas, trash talking, not the kind that feels like healthy and like, oh, we're getting into it with each other in a, healthy competitive way, but the kind that feels toxic. And I just want to say you're allowed to opt out of that kind of unhealthy, toxic competition where it feels like there are winners and losers. You don't have to play that game if you don't want to. Yeah. Ondine tuned in from Incomplete Kitchen in Staten Island, finishing my coffee, finding my feet after a slow start. I hope they're right where you left them. Judith says, I want to kiss up the Kaylee varmint. She's right here. She's ready to be a varmint. She's like, you called? My adoring fans await me. Aria's tuned in from Oakdale, recovering from a stroke. Aria, how are you? How is it going? How are you feeling? Everybody send Aria good vibes. Recovering from a stroke is serious. These are my vibes. Send Aria good vibes. All right. Ondine is going to get the first card on deck. After that is Judith and Mary Jane. And there are more people. Don't worry. I will get to you. I'm scrolling up to see. I don't see a question from Ondine. So I'm just going to pull a card for you. I know it's 11:20 and I'm just getting started. If you missed it, the card for everyone on this blue moon is the High Priestess. It's time to turn inward, tune into our intuition, and not to toxic competition with those around us. Okay? Okay. Okay. Oh my God, I'm covered in cat hair. I'm looking down at my black shirt. I don't think it really comes through on the camera. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm like just seeing like all the gray hair. I got a gray tabby cat so that her cat hair would show up on every outfit. Okay, Ondine, here's your card. Ondine, again, we have the High Priestess. Y'all see me shuffling and the fact that I cut to the middle. Ondine, again, we have the High Priestess. It is time to tune into your inner self, your inner voice. What does your inner voice want you to do? I feel like she even looks like you a little bit. She's looking out at you. She's looking out at you from the pasta pot. And if you are in the pasta pot, rather than trying to scramble around externally and do the thing, the answer is not the external fighting, right? We just got that thing with the Five of Swords dropping out of the deck. The answer is not the external fighting. The answer is looking within. So note that. The answer is looking within. Your answers are within yourself. Find stillness for those answers. Because what you'll probably find if you're, especially if you're like stressed out in the pasta pot, get out of the pasta pot first, right? Or take a nice bubble bath, right? Love a bubble bath, miss bubble baths. Don't have a bathtub in my apartment. Get out of the pasta pot and tune into your inner world. Tune into your inner landscape and let it tell you what it is that is needed. Give yourself the time and stillness to dig a little deeper. Aria, Ondine is sending you healing vibes from Instagram. Okay. Next on deck, we have Judith, Meowie Morning, and then Mary Jane. Judith, I'm pulling a card for you. I'm going to go ahead and get a little, I'm going to take my time with these readings this morning because it's a small crew, which is my fault. Because I didn't post about this until yesterday. I usually am pretty good about it. And it's the busy time. I've been having a busy. So we have a smaller crowd today, and that is just fine. That probably means I'll pull a card for me too. Oh my. Judith, your card is the Emperor. It's time to be large and in charge of your destiny and your fate. Your constituents await you. You're the one making the decision. Look at this guy sitting at his glamorous desk with this red curtain behind him, holding a cannoli. That, my friend, is the cannoli of truth. What does your cannoli of truth declare? Gesture with your cannoli of truth. And I believe he also is holding, it looks like a cigarette, but I'm going to say it's also a long tube of pasta, which is delightful. You're the one who should be calling the shots on your life, Judith. There is only one person in charge, in a leadership position in your life, and it is you. Does that mean that nothing in the world affects you and you can do anything you want anytime and you can control all things? No, because everyone else is also in charge of their own lives, but you're the one in charge of your life. You are the emperor of your life. Gesture your desire with your tube of pasta, hold your cannoli of truth, and let yourself make the call. Undine says it's Michael Corleone. Who's Michael Corleone? I live under a rock. I don't know about pop culture. But you're probably right, because there are definitely pop culture figures in this deck. This is the Pasta Tarot. There's a lot of queer representation. There's a lot of diversity, and pasta. It's a great deck. I love it. Holy cannoli. Okay, on deck, we have Ondine with a question, followed by Melissa with a question. Okay, Ondine said, not Ondine, I already read it for you. I'm sorry. I was looking at you and thinking of Mary Jane. Mary Jane with a question. Mary Jane, question, boss quit suddenly. What does this mean for me? You guys, hydration checkpoint, because I think I have a Kaylee here in my throat. Where did she go? Oh, she's in the back window. Okay. Kaylee's off behind me, watching the birdies with murder in her heart. Okay. Mary Jane, boss quit suddenly. What does this mean for you? Okay, let's see what the Pasta Tarot has to say. This card really wants to fall out. The immediate answer is you're going to be taking on more responsibilities, Mary Jane. We have the 10 of Corta, which is the 10 of Wands. You're going to be taking on more responsibilities, but you're going to be looking real good while you do it. This guy is carrying this giant sack of gnocchi. You can tell he carries giant sacks of gnocchi all the time because, you know, he's a strong guy, right? And he's carrying this sack of gnocchi, which is obviously a service to his entire community. Everyone wants gnocchi. He's the gnocchi guy. He's got all of it. However, he can't see where he's going. And he's carrying such a heavy burden that the gnocchi is actually falling out. What a shame, right? Good gnocchi all over the floor. So what this means for you, Mary Jane, is that at first you'll be picking up some slack. You'll be taking on some extra responsibilities, but like this guy carrying the gnocchi, like you're going to be looking damn good during it. This may be an opportunity for you, even if it is challenging and you can't handle every little thing. This may be an opportunity for you to position yourself in a positive light for whoever comes in to fill that space. So make sure you pace yourself. Make sure you try to do the things that make it easier when you're taking on more responsibilities, and delegate when you can. Make priority decisions about, like, this really is a priority, this really can wait. Remember, when everything's a priority, nothing is a priority, right? Don't carry so much gnocchi that you can't see where you're going and things are slipping through the cracks. Allow yourself, just some thoughtful strategizing as things come across your plate, because it may be a little bit extra in the weeks to come, but that may be that may translate into an opportunity for you that makes you look good in the workplace. Next up, we have a card for Melissa. Cats in the chat about my lovely but frustrating partner, whatever that looks like. Melissa, you can't see it, but there's thought bubbles. Judith can probably see him. If you're tuned in and you'd like a card, let me know. Pop a cat in the chat, put a cat emoji in the chat, or just write the word meow, and I will pull a card for you. I see a couple new people tuning in. Okay, card from Melissa about her lovely but frustrating partner. Wow. The High Priestess is the star of the show today. Guys, if you missed it, if you just tuned in, the High Priestess is our card for everybody this morning. The High Priestess is coming through, telling us to pay attention to our intuition. And the card for your lovely but frustrating partner is also the High Priestess, Melissa. And I'm thinking about the phrasing of that. Card about my lovely but frustrating partner. He's on an inner journey right now. We have the High Priestess. All the surface is not what it appears. And I want you to consider that on the surface, the High Priestess, I'm showing this to both Instagram and Facebook. I'm trying to make it, be visible to everyone, is physically in this pot of boiling water. And yet you can see that her expression is calm. Perhaps she actually stands behind the pot of boiling water like a cauldron. My point being, things are not what they seem. And sometimes we don't know someone's strength until they get into hot water. I think that's a quote by some high-powered woman that we all look up to, but I can't remember who. Maybe Eleanor Roosevelt? I don't know. Maybe I'm making that up. But like women are like tea bags. You don't know how strong they are until you put them into hot water. Someone said that. And, with the High Priestess coming up and me being drawn to this cauldron full of pasta, like it might look like he's in the soup. It might look like he's in boiling water. It might look like things are ramping up. But what you might be surprised to know is he's been doing this inner work and he's having a different inner journey that it appears externally. So communication is a thing, certainly in both directions. You know what I mean? He has to communicate too about his inner world, especially because if the landscape has shifted internally, you on the outside just doing your best may not know that. And a reminder while we're on the topic, it's also your opportunity to communicate about your inner landscape and how things are affecting you that may not be externally visible. The nature of relationship is no matter how connected we are, and sometimes we do have that kind of intimacy where we have a little bit of a psychic vibe with someone we're in relationship with in one way or another. But no matter how connected we are, we can't see inside each other's inner worlds, right? And so this is a reminder to you to be thoughtful and communicate about your inner landscape to him so he knows, and also consider he's got his own inner landscape going on. Get curious about that. It may not be what the eye can see. Mary Jane says, oh Lord, I'm already carrying too much gnocchi. Girl, what a vibe. Oh, Michael Corleone from The Godfather. Okay. Outing myself as not having seen The Godfather, or indeed many, many movies. I live under a rock when it comes to media. Come on up, Kaylee. Yeah. Kaylee's come back to help. Oh, whoa, that's your claws, baby. You have little murder claws. Oh my gosh, Kaylee starts to slip and then she's like, I'll just dig in with my claws onto my leg. I can't with this animal. Anyway, if you're tuned in and you want a card, you let me know. I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. Let's see who's on deck. Have I gotten everyone? I think I have Aria. Aria's got a meow. Dealing with neighbors. Ideas. You guys, I'm here for a lightning round. If anyone would like another card about a particular question, or just to, piggyback onto their first card, you let me know. I'm going to do a lightning round, and I'm also going to pull a card for myself at this time. And you can't stop me. So there, everybody. But Aria, okay, let me go back to that and make sure that let me go back and make sure I'm looking at the exact words. I'm scrolling. Dealing with neighbors, ideas. Dealing with neighbors, ideas. If you're tuned in, say hello. Kaylee Murder Mittens, yes. Guys, Kaylee Murder Mittens has entered the chat here. She's snuggling on my lap. I'm like just petting her in my lap on my spinny chair like a master villain. Amazing. what to do about Arya's neighbor situation. Again, we have the Emperor. I just think it's so interesting. I'm shuffling like crazy, and like, is it just me, or have we only had like 3 cards today come out? The answer is the Emperor. Arya, remember that you are the king of your own domain. And now that also means they are the king of theirs, right? But stand strong, have your boundaries, and define what will or won't work for you. You are the emperor here, so call the shots. Name what works, name what doesn't work. And remember, every time we set a boundary with others, we are truly setting a boundary with ourselves. Because when we set a boundary with someone, such as whatever, you can't do this, you can't, I don't know what's going on with your neighbors. You can't let your dog poop on my lawn. You can't, whatever may be happening, right? You can't tell me what to put on my lawn. I don't know what's going on with you and your neighbors. I hope it's solvable. But every time we set a boundary, what we have to do is set a second boundary with ourselves about what we will do if that boundary is violated, because we can't control others. Setting a boundary doesn't guarantee that someone will follow it. In fact, if we have to set the boundary, there's a good chance they won't, because there's a reason this person needs boundaries, right? So remember that when you set a boundary with someone else, you have to immediately set a boundary with yourself about what you will do if they cross that boundary, right? If the boundary is, you need to stop doing this in my yard, because neighbors, right? The next boundary is, here's what I will do if you don't stop doing this in my yard. And that may sound harsh and like an ultimatum, but that's what a boundary is. You're deciding what you will do when they cross the boundary, right? If they're, I don't know, walking all over your yard, doing something negative that's negatively impacting you, maybe it's like, listen, you need to stop doing this, or I'm going to call an authority, or I'm going to put up a fence, or I'm going to whatever, right? And you can decide what you want that next move to be, right? And that is part of setting a boundary. When you set a boundary, before you set it with them, set it with yourself. Here's what I'm communicating. Don't do this or whatever. And then when they do this, here's what I will do, right? And it's not about vengeance or retaliation. It's just about stating, like, here's the terms, you're the emperor. You are protecting your kingdom. You're protecting your peace. You're protecting your kingdom. So here's what I will do to protect my kingdom if they continue to treat things the way they're treating things. And again, I don't know what's going on with you and your neighbors, right? So I don't know how that advice applies. But remember, you are the king of your domain. They're the king of theirs, right? So there are things you're not going to be able to control about them on their own property, but where there's that thing where the boundaries get crossed, perhaps literally, right? Remember that you have a right to say, here's my boundary. Do this and I will do X, right? And you can be polite about it, right? This emperor looks very calm. He's not going to be an asshole. He's not going to jump up and be mad and hit you with that pasta. I don't see a wooden spoon anywhere, but he's going to speak plainly. If you do this, I'm going to do this, right? That's the boundary. That's how we communicate a boundary. And understand that you're allowed to have boundaries. That's normal. You are the king of your domain. I'm going to pull a card for myself, because it's 11:37 and we got time, everybody. Also, the universe kind of already pulled 2 cards for us. If you tuned in and didn't see this, the card for everyone is the High Priestess. We need to tune into our inner landscape, our intuition. We need to slow down our decision-making process and make it one that we're feeling through, not always just thinking through. And pay attention to our emotions and our intuition. And we need to do that and check in with ourselves rather than engage in like external competition, especially shitty external competition. So, this card is for myself. And the question is, what energy do I need to have about this situation that has been affecting me all weekend? That's my question. And that is a question you can ask too if you want. And the answer is the 4 of Corta. Corta are wands. This is the element of celebration here, short pasta. This is the element of celebration here. Corta is about not just celebrations, but the kind of celebrations that we allow to be moments in time that become turning points for us. So things like graduations. I was reading at a birthday party yesterday, birthdays, graduations, weddings, funerals, showers, right? When we have celebrations where we're getting together and we're marking an important part of time. And it's interesting to be told to celebrate something that has been causing me some emotional distress, but I'm taking the message here of the Four of Porta, the Four of Wands, as being to A, surround myself with loved ones, and B, allow this to be a turning point, allow this to be a mark in time that makes an impact on me, where I look forward, how did I get here? And I look backwards, how did I get here? And I look forward, where do I want to be going from here? You know, when I make some decisions in this pause, celebrations are a pause, fours are always a pause in the tarot. I make some decisions in this pause about how I want to move forward. That's the energy that I need to have. Fine, tarot. I will. And Melissa, I'm telling this to you and only you. The Knight of Wands was the shadow card for that. I mean, I'm telling everyone. Everyone can hear it. I just think Melissa would appreciate it in particular. She's always asking about shadow cards. Okay. Who else wants a card too? I'm doing a second card for Mary Jane. If you would like a card too, you let me know. Mary Jane, second question. What's coming up photography-wise? The sun. I have two thoughts about this. My first thought is like playing with light. You know what I mean? And I know many of your compositions involve like light and shadow and like starkness and like and look a little ominous. And so with the sun, I'm like playing with the idea of letting more light in, whatever that looks like in your composition or in your photography process, and how that might affect some of your stuff. Another way to look at this might be that like in your photography kind of career, as you are sharing different things with your photography, visibility, like the sun is really a positive card. You know, you may be more visible, you may have more opportunities, you may see with greater clarity how certain things can play out for you in a positive way. The sun is really growth and harmonious opportunity, harmonious development. Robin Renee, I will absolutely pull a card for you. Let me know if you have a question. How are you? It's so good to see you. It's so good to see your text, your line of text across my screen. Everybody, Robin Renee is an incredible spiritual, mindful musician. You should definitely look them up and take a listen to some of their music. Very just like soulful and introspective and allowing for a special experience. Yeah. Okay. Pulling a card for Robin, then pulling a second card for Arya. Robin, your card is the Chariot. I'm reading from the Pasta Tarot today, which is both full of pasta and very queer inclusive and very diverse. I'm obsessed with it. It's my newest deck. Also, you can't see it, but the texture of these cards, they're like vinyl, and the texture is a little bit like the kind of vinyl tablecloth that you might find in a hole-in-the-wall Italian restaurant in Brooklyn. I'm thinking of man, did anyone ever eat at Aunt Susie's in Brooklyn? They're closed now. But like early 2000s, Aunt Susie's, Park Slope in Brooklyn, had the most amazing pasta and the most amazing red pepper sauce that they served with the bread at the beginning of the meal. And like super cheap, super hole in the wall, you know, like it was not a fancy place. It was just an amazing experience, like food wise. Anyway, this these cards feel like the tablecloth, said Aunt Susie's. Anyway, Robin, your card is the Chariot. First of all, look at these birds heralding your arrival. Your reputation precedes you. You have a hype squad, right? And it's time for you to move boldly forward into what it is that you desire. Trust that just getting your ass in gear and getting moving is going to be the right path, and your willpower and your drive and determination will make up for like whatever missing steps there are along your way. You're like, I don't know the exact map yet. I kind of know to go that way, but your enthusiasm and your willingness to figure it out is what's going to carry you, so go do the thing. You're ready, you're ready, you're ready. Go do the thing. Let your hype squad announce your presence because the time is nigh. The time is nigh. Card for Arya. Second card about the stroke. Kaylee's just doing annoying ornament stuff behind me. Arya, this is a really interesting card to get regarding your recovery in this health matter, which I will say, as always, I am not a doctor. When someone asks me about a health matter, I'm never making a medical reading. I'm never going to like tell you, here's what's happening with your body, because who's going to tell you here's what's happening with your body? Your doctor. And of course, you and your own insights to your body, but like healthcare professionals are who to go to for medical advice, not tarot readers. I don't have a medical degree. I just look at the pretty pictures on the card. That said, I think this is a meaningful message around your recovery. It's the Lovers. First of all, it's time to make choices. It's time to make choices about what really matters to you. As you are in this recovery phase, what really matters and where will you focus your energy? Because what you focus on grows. And another way to describe that might be what you focus on heals, So decide what it is that you passionately wish to focus on, because that will aid you in moving forward. The Lovers is a card about choice. It's a card about passionately choosing. And when we think of the Lovers too, I often see this card when people need to love themselves. And I encourage you to love yourself like a verb. It is hard to feel the feeling of loving yourself, right? Sometimes. And if you've never struggled with that, I'm delighted for you. Don't let me put that bad thought in your head. But for many of us, it's a struggle to feel the feeling of loving ourselves. Love yourself like a verb. You know how to love as a verb. You know how to be loving to someone. Yes. Be loving to yourself. See how the Lovers are out on the date. They're just so absorbed in each other in the best way, and it's like there's this angel watching over them, guiding their loving connection. And but they're tuned in to themselves and each other. Be loving to yourself. Be tuned in for yourself in the way you would be tuned into someone that you had just started dating, that you like just wanted to text all the time, that you were so into. Be tuned into yourself in that way. Be a lover to yourself. Love yourself. That is the energy to bring right now. So guys, here's some tea. Here's a tea announcement. Today is the blue moon in Sagittarius. Tomorrow, every Monday, I go live for a select for my club, the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club. So that's it's a paid experience. It's $11.11 a month, $11.11 a month. And every Monday I go live at 11:11 in the morning for the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club. And I lead them in a meditation. And we talk about what the moon is doing and how we can harness it. So we talked about the blue moon this month and what we can do about that, or this week rather. And tomorrow I will be doing a blue moon open house, because once in a blue moon, I like to do these things. I will be doing an open house of the Monday Moon Magic and Meditation Club. So this is usually a members only experience. Like I said, it's a paid experience. It's $11.11 a month. Which I think is a bargain for getting a weekly meditation and check-in and access to a wonderful coven of amazing witchy humans. But if you would like to join us tomorrow, I'll be broadcasting live just like I do the Witchy Weather Report here on Sassafras channels on YouTube, Twitch, Facebook, and Instagram. And I would love for you to tune in. It'll be at 11:11 tomorrow morning, and I'll be leading us in a meditation, and I'll be talking about the blue moon and how we can harness the energy of that blue moon together. So you don't have to do anything special to join the open house. You can just tune in tomorrow, 11:11, same bat time, same bat channel here on Sassafras Tarot Channels, and have that experience with them. I'm just shuffling. I think I'm pulling myself a second card. And my second card question is, hey, Rory, what's the vibe? And the card that is pulling out is the Lovers. What is up with all these duplicate cards today? That's the vibe. All the things I just said about that card for Arya, I am not going to go through it. But that's my second card. I will take it. Thank you, second card. So, friends, I'm ending the broadcast early because I got through everyone's readings. I love you all so much. Closing thoughts. Be the high priestess you wish to see in the world. That's our card for the month of June. Remember, as you're making decisions in the month of June, to make them with your heart and your emotions and your intuition, and don't rush into making them. Take a moment to check in with yourself. Take a moment to find stillness so that you can listen to the small inner voice, because the small inner voice isn't going to jump up and be like, look at me, look at me. That's another thing. The parts of us that are like, look at me, are like the reactive parts. And they might have important things to say, but we don't need to let them drive the bus. Finding that stillness and letting all the parts of ourselves weigh in is how we will make the best decisions, and feeling our way through rather than necessarily thinking like, I have to just arrive at a logical answer. Sometimes there is no logical answer, and we have to use our intuition. We have to use our insights that come from within. So be the high priestess you wish to see in the world. Remember that tuning into your inner voice and your inner wisdom is a better move than engaging in shitty competition and fighting. I wish you all a wonderful June. I'll see you right here again tomorrow, 11:11 a.m. for my Blue Moon open house for a moon magic and meditation session. Bye, friends. I love you.